Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another week, another Safria meeting. Southeast Florida Real Estate Investor Association, our South Florida community for 20 years. 2024 is going to be 20 years. Our national communities, wholesaling houses now, if you guys can follow us or look into the YouTube channel and Instagram and all that. But wholesaling houses now, some awesome tips, a lot of good stuff going on there. And we like to grow our channel, so share and like and comment our posts out there so you can help us grow as we help you get a deal or help you get to the next level, whatever you want. This is early 2024, so we are here to step up our game in real estate investing at these weekly meetings, just like the book Think and Grow Rich. We meet every week, mastermind meetings, ideally with a small group of people just like us now. And just to improve, just like you go to the gym, you're going to improve, you're going to build that muscle. This is where you get your real estate, your emotional muscle here, where you can get what you want a lot sooner and easier and cheaper and less effort, right? And sometimes you meet someone at these meetings that might be a perfect partner for you, or a wholesaler bring you a deal, or a partner or a lender. More importantly, we're just talking about the best use of your times. Two things: the best use of your times. Look for deals and look for money. Pretty simple, straightforward. And by coming to these meetings, sometimes you have access to that. So, or right now with the social media, you guys have access to a lot more. And if you don't take advantage of all of those resources, then that means that you're probably not resourceful and you need to work on yourself, right? So 80% of success is in your mind. So please work on your mind, and 20% work on your business, the strategy, the techniques, the know-how. That's just secondary, right? Because you guys understand, if you have a neighbor, friend, family, someone that has a house that's worth 100 grand and they need to sell it quick, they want some cash and they want 50 grand, that's a deal. So you don't need like an expensive seminar or course or coaching for something like that. So it's just a matter of being active, having right timing, being in the right place at the right time, and always thinking positive, right? You never think there's no deals ever. And I'm going to touch on a few things here on how you guys can get started if you're brand new. And this is for new people or advanced investors that have bought many, many houses. This is the place that you come here to learn, because it's like learning is like never ending, just like in a lot of other things in life. It's a practice, never ending, right? So, so I was going to tell you, as far as my opinion here, like I said, the two things you can do is look for money, look for deals. So when you're talking about looking for deals, and if anybody has questions on anything, let me know. But I'm just going to touch on a couple of things really quick, because that's what we do. Sometimes in these meetings, we talk about one of our deals. We share exactly how we found it, how we financed it, and how we sold it. So that's the awesome part about these meetings. The next thing is that you get to learn and ask questions. So for now, I'm going to share with you two things of finding deals, two ways of finding deals. Like, you got to understand this on market properties, and you got to understand this off market properties, right? So sometimes you got to focus on the right strategy that works for you. And what I can tell you about on market, because it's such a good topic in 2024 and beyond, is that a lot of people need to sell their property for whatever reasons. They just need to sell the property. So you have a lot of new properties coming on market. I want to tell you, between a couple of hundred, sometimes maybe in 400 houses per day coming on market. Now, some of you know that already, but what do you do? How do you find that 1%, that one property per day? That's an awesome deal, right? So that's when you kind of need some training, need to practice. The way you find those best deals is by creating your own deals. Like, we're talking about on market. Some of you had that question, or Jeff, you create the deal. You're not just going to find a property worth $500,000 and the asking price is $200,000. You will not find that unless it's a typo, a mistake, or like we call it, sometimes we call it some of those short sales that are not approved. If you guys don't know what a short sale is when the bank takes a lot less than what the mortgage is owed to them. That's called a short sale. But you have to that's a short sale process, might take a couple of weeks, couple of months, or a lot longer. So when you see an on-market property, and there are a lot of those lately, and the ARV, after repair value, the ARV is $400,000, and the asking price is $150,000. It's not a mistake. It's just a non-approved short sale. It's a non-approved property that needs to go through the process. It needs to be approved. So for now, you got to understand that it's not like you're missing deals. Some of you guys here, we're talking about missing deals, and people are bidding 100 people, 20 people, putting a bunch of offers. So for you, you got to understand certain things like a short sale, like the values and the asking price. Now, the second thing on market properties that I can tell you pretty quick here as a tip, because you guys are here and you're sharing the video and putting some comments. I can tell you that the way you create that deal, because we're talking about creating a deal, is by having good conversations with those agents. Good conversations means you're asking the right questions, right? You never go like, I want to make an offer, right? You always ask. Even when you talk to private sellers on market and off market, it's always like questions, like who's the owner, what's the story, what's the background, what's happening with the house, does it need work? There's a lot more questions to understand or know before you go out rushing to make an offer. So ideally, you want the distressed property. Ideally, even if it's listed from a distressed seller or a distressed house, right? So sometimes it's pretty straightforward what you look for. So as long as you guys keep that in mind, that you're not going to go just make offers on a property that the ARV is 95% of the asking price, right? Or houses that don't look like they need any work, because chances are that's not a desperate seller. So the difference between motivated and desperate, we buy houses from desperate sellers that need to sell, not want to sell. Any quick questions on that before we get to the off market? Any quick questions on that from anybody? It's about, sometimes we have 15, 20 people here. We have a good amount of people here. Janice or the new people, Venetia's, any questions on market? Or feel free to ask. But right now, I'm going to share, and I hope you got some of the things I said as far as on market. Now, on market, you can find them anywhere. Now, you don't need to work closely with an agent, because it takes like a day or a couple of days for it to be all over the internet, right? The on market, sometimes you get them, some certain services, it takes a couple of weeks for a house, to upload into their system, but you want to have the good timing and try to, there's a new listing, you want to get it, the sooner the better. So, got it? Okay, you guys are okay? If you have any questions, let me know. So you guys want to talk about off market for a few minutes? Off market, let's talk about off market. Is that an exciting topic, you guys? Jeff, do you think off market is a good strategy also?
Definitely.
Definitely. I mean, like if on market, when you think of on market, you think of like 30, 20, 40 people offering the same property. So off market, how many people are offering on that property? Zero, right? You have no competition. You're the only one that knows about that property. Sometimes I feel like some wholesalers, they go out of their way. They do great. They're doing great. But sometimes the fact that they offer sellers, a cash offer, sometimes it's hurting the investor market, because, you're pushing like your market into something that might not be real, right? In other words, it hurts, because I've talked to a lot of desperate sellers, and they're like, oh yeah, you're my 8th person calling me today, right? And then when I say one thing, they say, but you're the only one that really knew about my property, right? So they totally open up to me, because I'm more asking questions, more being a little more relationship driven with these private sellers or the motivated sellers. They might not be distressed sellers, but they'll get there pretty quick if an investor doesn't go in to help out with their situation, right? So motivation, desperation. There's about a certain time frame, and it's not about the money. It's just like a time frame before they become desperate. So sometimes we focus on the desperation, right? So So far, is this making sense, you guys? So, right. So if you guys want to communicate with a like an off market, you want to communicate with that owner instead of just saying, "Hey, can I give you a cash offer?" or "Do you want to sell your property?" The conversation is a little bit different. It's same thing. Like you got to ideally know if you happen to see a picture of the property, if it looks like it needs work, you can kind of know, or if not, you can ask, right? Does the house need work? Is it rented or someone lives there? Or sometimes I don't like to say is the house vacant. So you can just ask. And sometimes they tell you right away, um, especially as the type of seller that you attract. So to get to see if it's a real candidate, if it's a real uh, prospect for you, you just have to ask a few quick questions, right? And maybe you found this seller from a list, so that makes him qualified for us to kind of take initiative to try to talk to this person, right? If you guys have any questions on any of this, let me know. And this is what we're here for once a week for 30 minutes. This is your gym, your real estate, your emotional gym where you get strong and where you get the confidence, maybe the courage to leave this call and maybe go talk to some sellers or talk to some agents. So so that's what I'm saying. If you have questions, let me know. But basically the conversation goes something like this. Um, Mr. Seller, I was just wondering, what's your plans for the property? And sometimes you're a total stranger, so you have to kind of say a few things before you ask specific personal questions, right? So the way you kind of build that quick report on with that seller within seconds is, you tell them your name, you tell them how you got the number, and you tell them what you're calling about, right? Why you're calling about, and sometimes you tell them that you're local person, that you live near the property or something like that, right? Which that's why I tell people stay in your community, stay in your local market. It's a little bit better because real estate is like a game, right? The home team usually gets the win, like 70, 80% of chances of winning the game, or I don't know, maybe 50%, 60%. But you guys know what I'm talking about. So just to finish here with the basic, quick script for now on talking to sellers, because when I work with with a mentor student, there's 5 to 8 conversations we have depending on the specific type of seller, right? But just to start off, like a basic conversation, it's basically your name, where'd you get the number, you're a local person, and you go right to, you know, just wondering if you're looking to rent the house, maybe sell it or do anything with a property. Like just wondering what you're looking to do with it, right? So everything starts from there, right? And whatever they say next, one of the things that I tell people, no matter what they say, just don't say okay and hang up. Don't say okay and hang up. You might want to ask them in a different way. You might want to, this is where they're not giving up. This is 30 years ago, I've learned to not give up. And that's not just in general with everything. It's more like if you're talking on the phone with someone, you don't want to be annoying to them, but at the same time, you don't want to just say, okay, I'll just hang up because you have them on the phone. Why not just have a normal conversation for maybe like, I don't want to say 20 minutes or 10 minutes. I want to say like a minute or two, right? Or maybe 3, right? Because people that are between motivated and desperate, it's there's a different mindset. So they looking to trust you, right? Number one, they're looking to trust you. Number two, they want to make sure that you're not, they want to make sure like they want to know who you are. Number one. Number two, they want to make sure that you're able to help them today. Like one of my coaches told me, because I was so young and I used to knock on doors, talk to people day and night. I was getting no results, no results. So my coach told me, man, you're so young. You got to sound like you have $10,000 to give them right now. So for me to tell you that, it's you either have to gain the confidence, have the coach or a partner like me, or the mentor, which I can be on the other line in seconds, right, to buy that property today. But sometimes people, that's what they're thinking in their mind, right? And one of the things that I see with other wholesalers or other investors, they're very in their mind, right? And when you listen to Tony, tomorrow or whenever you listen to Tony, one of the big things you learn is that you think of people only. And the way you realize you know that is by, if you start saying I buy houses, I and this and that, you're thinking of you and your head, right? When you get to your heart, and you're just thinking of them only, thinking of their need, their problem, their motivations, where they want to go, what's the solution, what's the outcome, and you just kind of, things will just come out of you where you're able to help that person. Like you're going to say the right things, and then at that point, the person is going to sense that you're the person who do a deal with them at that point. So that takes a little while, it takes a lot of practice. But this is kind of like what you're heading to. So the difference between me and someone that's been trying to do the business for a long time is that conversation, that initial connection, and that confidence, that point to get them across that you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the money, you can help them out more than an attorney, right? Sometimes if it's like a certain type of seller, they might say, oh, I already have an attorney, I feel so much better. So sometimes I'll just tell you as a bonus tip for you guys today, I can tell you, like sometimes I tell my sellers, the attorney is going to buy you a little bit of time, and the bank or the city or the whatever issues they're going through, they want the house or they want money. Like sometimes your tone says a lot. So sometimes you have to sound curious. Sometimes you have to sound forceful, depending on the list. So when I'm talking to someone that's going to lose the house next week, I just have to verbally kind of smack him on the head and say, look, the attorney is going to buy you time. Chances are you're going to be in the same place next week, next month. They want the house or they want money. You decide. So you see what I mean? So as much as I'm extra nice and understanding, depending on who you're talking to, sometimes you kind of change your way of talking, communicating, your script. You just change it. You just adjust to them in their mind, not on you and your head. So you come from your heart. Any questions or comments? I was going to tell you an awesome list that I found, but I might leave that for the next time because I think you guys kind of have a little understanding on market, lots on the market. You only want one, but this is every day. Now, if I don't look at my daily opportunities, if I wait 1 or 2, 3 days, you're looking at almost 1,000 properties that I have to go through to find that one deal I want today, right? So when you work with me or you do my coaching, you know exactly what type of seller keeps the property on the market around so much time. Like the moment I lost a deal 2 weeks ago because I didn't read on market, I didn't read, and you guys get the good and the bad from here. Not read all the remarks or the comments on the listed property on market, and they literally had on the market 2 days, maybe 3, and it was like a weird time, like best and highest. I never heard of this. Make your best offer or the highest offer by 8 p.m. or something like that. And I'm like, what? Who does that? So by the time I called the next day, never heard from that guy. I'm like, that was an awesome deal. Like nothing to do, just put up the contract, close on the property. Like worth 450. I think they were had it for around low 200s, right? And we have other deals like that where it requires strategic ways of putting that deal together. And that's the difference between people that are trying and trying and trying, and months and years go by and you haven't gotten your deal yet, and because of some of this reasons or this because of these properties, the way they come and go. So if you're not mentally ready, if you're not mentally, sometimes you'll never know that deal. And these are right near you. Antoniette, you have a great market. A lot of the new people here, Janice, Vinicius, you guys got to keep that in mind, right? So if you want to partner up a deal with me, what are the things I need for you to tell me or send me a direct message or email? Tell me the ARV we were talking about earlier. Tell me the ARV, your opinion. I don't ask the sellers that anymore in this market. And also tell me about the asking price or what the seller wants, right? Long story on that, but just keep in mind those 2 things. I have this lead from, in other words, tell me where the lead is from whether it's a driving for dollars, on market, whatever list, or whatever this is from, and then just tell me ARV and tell me about the asking or what the seller wants. The reason why I say the seller wants is because after doing this business, it took me 20 years to realize, to learn that sellers don't have an asking price. They have no idea. That's not even important to them. The important part for them, for the sellers, is like they want out, right? So if you don't know, you're going to make mistakes and ask that seller, what are you asking? What are you looking to get? Bad question. The better question would be, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Right? That's better. And then they'll tell you, oh, I just want out of here. And if you make the mistake of asking the price, sometimes there's ways out of there. And the way I used to get out of there is by asking more good questions, which the owner will bring their price like 60 or 80K within seconds, right? Because the price has nothing to do with their real need, right? Sometimes some of our sellers the real need is debt relief or some other reasons. So for now, I think this was supposed to be 5 minutes or 10. Jackie, anything else? Vivian, Benicio, there's a lot of people here. Eduardo, do you have any questions? Put in the chat if you can. This is your time for the week, early 2024. You guys want to be fired up to get your next awesome deal. Now, you can get any deal on a contract today. It doesn't mean it's going to sell, right, Jeff? Because you're putting houses, you're trying to make offers, and they might not be awesome deals. So you can just practice putting things on a contract. So you still have some time an inspection period with listed properties. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to stop the recording in a second. So this is your time to ask. I might stay here for another few minutes, especially for the people I work with or the new investors, especially if you guys want to work with me. I'm available. You can look at sefria.com, or you can look at the social media Wholesaling Houses Now, and just send me a direct message or send me a quick message to and let me know what your need is. I love to partner deals with people, put up my knowledge, 30 years or more, and I put up money, earnest money deposits, anything that's needed for us to get to the next deal ASAP. And if you guys don't think things happen really quick, think again. Things happen really quick, maybe like over the weekend, and things come and go, and that deal could be 50K or more, and that's life-changing for you guys, not only because of the money, but more of what he does for you, the belief of the business works. And if you don't give up, he'll work for you too. If you keep coming to these meetings, or if you want to step up your game, get a coach or a mentor. Like every successful person has a coach or mentor, even if it's whoever. A lot of people have successful coaches. You typically, the good ones are a little bit older and they've gone through the worst, right? A lot of challenges and headaches, so they know there's nothing else to lose. Like we've gone through the worst, so you guys can kind of be confident that you're not going to go through the worst, especially in this uncertain market. When what are the values going to, what's going on? They're going to go up, they're going to go down. What's happening, right? So sometimes after 30 something years, we kind of see the vision a little bit better than someone that's just been doing this, like they just started maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago, something like that. All right, guys, awesome. Don't forget to share the video, like it, and if you have questions, comments, please put the comments. We'd like to grow our Wholesaling Houses Now channel, and I'm still going to be here for a few more questions. I know you guys are shy, and you can ask me questions after I stop this recording. So hope to see you soon.